Hello everyone, how you doing today? Thought I would take a look at the workshop again. This is part 13. This time I'm doing things a little bit different. I normally look at 5 creations of mixed size. This time I'm just looking at 3 creations of big size. So we got 3 very large ships. I'll put it that way. The first one, if you are taking a look at the workshop currently, you notice that this is in the spotlight, I think in the top position at the moment. So this was kind of an impulse here. I just noticed this this morning, and this is by Shiz 314, and it is the Condor. Quite an impressive, I'll just say work of art. It's a really big ship, and we all know that really big ships. You know, it depends what you're doing in game, or if you're playing on a multiplayer server or whatnot. Some of this stuff might not really work out too well for you in actual gameplay terms, but the impressive amount of work that goes into this, and especially because I really like to look at the shaping and design and textures and details, and there's something about me that really likes these big ships. So this is no exception to a gigantic ship, and it's detailed throughout. Now, some of the features that I thought were very neat is the layered surfaces on it. What I mean by layered surface is like here you see like you got a half block that's going around the edge, but then it kind of indents into a different color texture to kind of create this I don't know, technical looking area of it with all kinds of extra decorations like these round pieces here. Really love that stuff. There's just so much to look at, even like close up, despite it being really big. I'm trying to avoid turning my camera the other way right now, so you don't know what the other ships are. I'm so devious. But with all these giant creations around, I've distinctly am noticing a drop in my frame rate as well. So I don't even want to look at the frame rate. It's not bad though. It's not intolerable for looking at stuff. I just wouldn't want to be in space battles with frame rate like I'm getting, especially if I turn the other direction. Anyway, my goodness, let's get in this thing. I don't know this ship at all. So, I mean, I spawned it in. I have not yet entered the ship. I'm not sure exactly of all the ins and outs of it, but I have a feeling there's going to be a lot here to explore. So on the interior here, let me do the lighting thing. I would like to see what it looks like in the dark here. See, accent those texture lights and internal lights in the creation. So we obviously have kind of this dual hangar situation on the bottom of the ship, which is really unique. Or maybe this isn't a hangar over here. I guess the one side is and the other side isn't, I would say. Anyway, very cool. So yeah, I like the cut-ins in the wall with the backing texture behind the glass. This is almost like a triple layer wall. Now, Shiz 314 has been around for quite a while. I noticed that he's not always active on the workshop, but usually when he comes in big, and has done some collaborations with other authors as well to make also pretty big things. This one is no exception. So I look at a ship like this and I'm thinking, well, how long would it take me to build such a thing? And I would say that this was, you know, at least a month project if I was working on it, you know, a few hours every day. When you get into stuff this big, that's just what you're going to see. And check out this room. This is just cool. I love the balconies. I love the multiple layer balconies going up here where they're kind of uniform, but they're all a little different as well. That's just neat. When you get such a large creation too, there's only so much actual function you can get in a ship that is gameplay worthy, and the rest of it you're going to have to kind of fill in with other things. Lesson learned on the Leviathan for me as well, and all the other authors that participated in working on areas of the ship. Yeah, there's only so much actual function you're going to get in a ship once you get to a certain size, and then you're just going to have to let your imagination run wild. um, so wow, yeah, I'm gonna so get lost in here, and I'm sure I'm gonna miss parts of probably all the creations that I'm showing today. I just wanted to take a good look through everything and see how it was designed and detailed. But you can tell, I mean, with the lighting and everything else, and the texture work around, and the color differences, and the detail items put in, that everything is like very nice and detailed and fleshed out. Now this is really interesting here too. This is like I don't know, almost like a stasis thing, I would say. Like this is you know, could do massive warp jumps over many years, and then you wake up your crew or something. That's just the impression I would get based on some different sci-fi movies and things like that, that something like this might be for. So that's cool. That's cool. Then yeah, that's how you wake up everybody. See, but what they don't know is in transit, you see this weird Xeno type alien got aboard, and no, I'm just kidding. Could happen though. I've seen it in the movies. Xeno. Was it xenophobe? Is that what they called it? Anyway. So, all right. So I'm thinking this room here, I kind of went to as much as I can off from this corridor here. Let's go back in the elevator. Again, I apologize. I don't know the layout of the ship at all, so I'm just randomly walking through here and seeing what it might have on board. Love this stuff though, really cool. Oh, here's a nice looking lounge area here, a cafeteria maybe. And if you try to leave here without paying your bill, it's not advised. Oh, maybe it's not. Yeah, I guess it's not a cafeteria. I'm not seeing any food-related items. Looks like just a nice area to hang out at and teleport into. Okay. So what do we got here? Oh, caution tape. So this might get into some nitty-gritty engineering stuff over here. So we got, looks like oxygen storage. Oh, we got, can't look that way, guys. Yeah, it's probably a bad plan on me trying to hide two gigantic ships right next to this one and try not to look at them. Takes a special mouse wrist. No, I'm kidding. Got to have a little fun with all this here. Okay, so let's keep on going this way. See where we end up at now. I've been here before. Yes, I have been here before. Man, I'm terrible. You know, I feel for people. You know, I remember when when Excalibur was walking through the MCRN Leviathan, and he was totally lost, and I'm like, oh no, man, you just want to go this way. You haven't seen this floor yet, and he's just like, I have no idea where I'm going. And yeah, I totally understand that. I do. I still get lost in the ship myself. Oh, this looks really cool too. Yeah, I like how sometimes little things like this particular surface here has a texture light on it, but how that looks through the glass just kind of looks neat. It's not a huge texture light. It's just something, and it's different color, and within it kind of matches that on the other side over here too, which is just really cool. Let's see what, oh, now we're on the outside of the ship. Wow. Yeah. Man. Oh, now we're in hardcore engineering over here. So we've got a bunch of generators, piping, thrusters, fuel, you name it. It's very cool. Yeah. When you get something this big too, I'm kind of curious on how they would actually perform in like a real combat situation. Even if they're not super reinforced, they're so big that I mean, size does matter to an extent. Of course, if you lose your critical systems, generators, and the whole ship shuts down, not so much. But yeah, here. Okay, so okay, the front area here, we've got that. I'm gonna just kind of fly through some walls here to get to these different areas a little quicker, I think. Something tells me I kind of been in here too. Or have I not? No, I don't think so. Look at that. Look at that, just like looking upward in here, like all the way down from the bottom area, so you can kind of like look out the floors above it. Just gives you an idea how massive this ship actually is. Yeah, there's going to be a lot to explore here. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And then okay, this takes us back to the hangar here, where I first came in, just kind of above it. I like the overlook though too. Like if you're checking in things that come into the ship, it's kind of gives it a bit of plausibility there. Like you might actually have something like that on a ship like this. So that is very cool. Wow. What's going on over here? I don't know. But it looks cool. Yes. Oh, okay. So now we're up to a different hangar area. So this would be off the side of the ship, kind of in this midsection here. That is cool. So SV hangar. Again, yeah, don't cross these people. They will. Yeah, if there's any security problem or you look at them funny, you got to watch out for these turrets here. Okay, so this is above that one area. This is really cool. I did something like this in the Leviathan too, in a certain spot somewhere in the kind of midsection of the ship, just because I too thought it looked pretty cool, and it was in a weird way of saying it filled in a lot of area that I didn't have to make individual rooms for, and look cool in the process. Plus, it used less blocks, of course, because you got the open ceilings and whatnot. So it's kind of a win-win on that. But you know, if you had a small ship, you wouldn't even think about doing something like this because it would waste a lot of room. Man, okay. So here, let me turn my camera this way. I'm going to try to sneak in here. I don't exactly know the interior layout of this. It would take a long time to explore for sure. I just did want to get around to a couple other areas of the ship here. Wow, yeah, like this too. So we've got like a little command and control area here, I would assume. Planning, strategic missions, things like that. Let's get up over in here. Oh, wow. Well, there is our shield. And I went out some other parts are in there too. Let's, can I get up in there somehow? Oh, wow, totally different color scheming in here too. That looks pretty neat. So, okay, so this is, you don't actually physically walk into here. Oh, wow, look at that. That looks so cool. Yeah, the blend of the shaping with the lighting and the texture lighting and the colors, just, yeah, that's sweet. That is sweet. All I got to say is you might want to check this one out. This is pretty insane. Really cool, complex shaping throughout, different parts everywhere you look, structures and shapes. That make up this just larger, very overall cool looking design. I love the thruster housings here too, kind of a vertical way, and then it's almost like some other kinds of thrusters over here, but just done differently. And so much of this exterior shaping too, like the adding the thin blocks over the other blocks, and altering some of those blocks. So yeah, it's a neat way to go to add a lot of detail to a ship. You know, I have not been up to the main bridge yet, though, either here. I apologize for flying through the ship like this. I could probably spend 2 hours just looking at the ship alone, and I do not have the time for that on the video, so that's basically why. So yeah, and then our main bridge here, so it would be overlooking the front area. Now, one thing I am seeing here that I'm wondering, and I am at night, so maybe this is done right. I'm just going to find out for sure. So basically, I got out a multi-tool and I set it to change and rotate. If you're new to the game, this is how you can tint windows or untint windows. So basically what I wanted to do is see if this window was tinted on the inside, because it kind of looked like it was. That would be one thing you could change, so you could get a better looking view out the front window of it for the pilot. Anyway, very, very cool creation by Shiz314. Quite an elaborate, very, very sci-fi, cool looking spaceship here. Alright, so next one is, I can't, actually the next two I'm not going to be able to pronounce the author name. I can't, because they're in a foreign language to me. So, and even the names of the ship get a little bit difficult to understand. Like the first one here, I believe, is the Ode to Dawn, and it's by it's in Chinese or Asian text, and I don't know how to read the name. But there's been some comments too that wanted to see creations by authors that get largely overlooked, and this would be a prime example of that. And I think a lot of the overlooked, why it didn't have a lot of subs based on what it is because of a language barrier, not because of the quality of the creation. So this guy over here, this is pretty insane. Very unusual looking ship, almost some kind of, I'm kind of wondering if it's, I'm not familiar, but I'm thinking if it's like an anime based or sci-fi show series that this was based around. I can't say for sure though. I'm just speculating on that. Yeah, look at this thing here. Let's get a bigger overlook of this entire creation here. Never seen anything like it, honestly. This one's really unique. I notice it's quite detailed and very different set of texturing on it too than you normally see. Like you typically don't see wood grain on spaceships much, but on this case with the other colors going on here, it really has a nice look to it, and it's just so very unique. It does have like some floating things around it too. Like you notice a lot of these turrets are just floating around. Kind of an interesting design with that too. It probably work quite well if you can get like look at these like they're individual fighters or something like that. I've seen that done by some other authors as well. Some pretty unique creations. Look at this. Oh wow. This is, yeah, it's almost like a weird kind of a city kind of thing. I don't know. Very, very sci-fi, very original on this. So let's find a way inside here a minute. Oh wow. And it's, sorry, I got sidetracked again. I was just taking a look at its interesting way that it would land on the ground over here. Oh, that's cool. And some things, it almost looks like I'm at some kind of theme park. Oh, the double ramp setup like that. Interesting. I don't have this parked exactly on the ground, so these ramps would actually go to the ground. I think what happened on a couple of these ships is my this big landing pad wasn't big enough to hold all of them quite right. Oh, look at this. We're just like walking around in the city now. Let's go over here. Oh, look at that. We've got a got some exercise court or like basketball practice or something like that. That's cool. I love how the LCD is used again for, I've seen this in a recent creation. I don't know if it was last week or not, but someone else did something like this too. It's a really good idea to kind of simulate parts that just don't exist in the game. Then again, you probably wouldn't expect to see a model of a basketball hoop in a space survival game. So kudos for the creativity on all of that. That is really, really cool. So I probably ought to switch over to the lighting thing here too. But man, hey, you know, walk like a view like this, you wouldn't even know you're on a ship. It almost looks like you're on some massive ground pavilion structure. So yeah, I guess I'll keep the lighting rolling for now since we're mostly outside here. And well, nah. I gotta just see what this looks like here at night too. Interesting. Oh wow. So we got all kinds of stuff going on. Oh, okay. So it does have the Chinese and the English text in here. So that is very, very cool. Now, one thing I did notice on these creations, and this is a problem with Empyrion. Once you sub so many creations, there's a limit on how much it will display, and that limit I believe is 200. So once you sub 200 creations, when you start subbing more, it doesn't like not show you necessarily the new creation that you just subbed, but what it does is everything's in alphabetical order. So the lower down the alphabet on what the creation starts with, for instance, in my case, like I've got quite a few creations, like the waypoint stuff and the wayfarer and all those are way down on the end of the alphabet will not show up. Now I noticed that these ships were named in I believe Chinese writing, and what had happened when I tried to spawn these in is I did not see them in my list, but I exceeded 200 creations in my list. So I had to like remove a lot of stuff for these to show up, but these show up past Z because of the language on how they start. So that's just something to note. Typically, the only way to fight that problem, if you spawn a creation, especially that's high on the alphabet and you don't see it in your list, it's typically you got to remove some things out of there, and it makes it extra infuriating because that workshop download list it transfers everything to like a number, like an ID number, so you don't know the name of the creation until you look in the actual folder. Now you can delete them inside of Empyrion as well, but it kind of sucks that you have to delete things in the first place. I wish that wasn't the case. So this morning I ended up doing kind of like a backup, and I pulled a lot of stuff out so I could make room so I could see these creations show up in here. Like the signage though, that's very cool. That's probably all one LCD, so we're doing with different colors and graphics, things like that. Alright, so we're in the elevator. I like this, I like the LCD on the elevator here too. I'm going to go back to lighting for just a bit here, so we can see everything. If I see another room that looks like it would look really neat with the lights off, I'll check that out too. Core area. Okay, so we do have our function stuff here too. So we got some farm plots, farm lighting switch, very nice. Gravity. Let's go check out the core area. Please do not enter. I'm a rebel. So we got our different CPU cores. I didn't look at the specs of the last one either, and I probably should have done that. This one's a size class 18. So I actually, I think I'm misquoting. I believe the last creation was a size class 22, so I think it was actually bigger than this one. For some reason, this one looks physically bigger in overall size due to the way it's laid out and kind of separated further apart more. But yeah, this is neat. I just want to hang out here for a while. This looks really, really slick. So different on the texturing style too. It's kind of like in this area, it's got a little bit of that like crazy Z look, but not entirely. It's different yet. And yeah, all the different archways and things like that too. Just something you don't see much on like a spaceship. You might see that in some neat looking architecture, but yeah, very cool. Navigation bridge. Okay. Oh, look at that LCD on the floor there. That's cool. Huh. Cockpit closed. Why are you closed? Where are you? I don't see a door here. Is this like a blast door? It's probably, I'm not sure. Oh, look at the cockpit. Oh yeah, it's just using just like open glass here too, so it doesn't have the trim borders all on it. Oh, this does open up. This is a trap door. Interesting. There's probably some kind of mechanism inside, maybe to release that, so you can get in from the outside. But once you're in there, or maybe I just wasn't close enough. Simply read instructions. Da da da. Huh. I don't know. Very, very cool creation, and I'm sure again there's more of this ship to check out and explore. Just kind of wanted to show you it as a whole. Definitely like finding these fairly unique, elaborate creations on the workshop. And I mean, overall, for the time that this was released versus now, it had, in my opinion, a low amount of subs on it, which I think it would deserve a lot more than what it got. So that's just that's my opinion. This is extremely creative stuff. Might not be terribly functionable in game, but if you're looking for like some really neat looking stuff that obviously took a lot of time to build, and some fun ships to run around and explore, this would be a good one for you here. Wow. So now, yeah, this is so unique over here too. This is like a thruster housing, but it's like on the outside of the ship. So it's like a whole armada that's kind of like flying around with it. One last look at the front of this here too. Very cool creation. All right, so the next one is the biggest of these by a long shot too. I didn't realize how much bigger it was until, okay, so I think we got, here, let's look at the specs on the Condor here. Size class 24, okay, so I said 22, my mistake, 24, so this is a big one. That's just a weird local slang word for big. This one was a little smaller at size class 18, I believe. And this last one, oh my goodness. This thing is absolutely insane. Now, the name I got on this one, it is, I believe, the Tiangong. And it's again by an author name that I don't know the translation to say properly. Of course, on the video description, I will have the links to all the workshop posts here for these. And this thing is absolutely insane. It dwarfs the M Sierra and Leviathan. It really does. And M Sierra Leviathan, I believe, was somewhere in the high 40s, if I remember, in size class. This one's hitting 111. So this is literally insane. I don't know if I've seen a bigger workshop or a ship. I think I've seen something bigger before, but I don't think it was a spaceship. But this thing is, it's crazy. And it's very, very cool to look at too. I'll have to show this in the dark too, just to get an idea on it. But man, the thing is so massive that it's almost like this gigantic city ship. Now this would be, in my opinion, the true definition of a capital ship. like this looks like a capital ship. In my opinion, like, you know, a lot of the ships that I do, I mean, they're called CVs in the game, but you know, it could be like a, you know, a starter Wayfarer, and there's no way in my psyche that I would think that that would be a capital ship. This is a capital ship in my opinion. This is the definition of a capital ship, a giant like city in space, um, and oh my goodness. This, yeah, just no joke at all. I couldn't get this to fit on the, I kind of put it above a little bit of the landing pad over there, but yeah, it just wasn't going to work out. So we got some bomb. Yeah, look at this section here. Really interesting. Like it's a whole bunch of, I don't know, cargo or possibly weaponry. All these other modules over here. I love the looks of like these metal framing pieces on the exterior of this in various places. I think that really that looks pretty good. And I wouldn't doubt that this was potentially modeled after a ship in a show. Maybe. I don't quote me on that one too. I'm just speculating. Wow. Get this thruster bank here. Those are all XL thrusters too, 3x3s, and then some more over on the sides over here as well. Just a ton of thrusters, and then the differences in colors. Unusual looking paneling over here. That's just this is insane. So actually, another author actually kind of gave me a heads up on these two creations, the second two that I was looking at this week, and I was like, yeah, I gotta check these out, man. These are like some this is just crazy. I can't imagine the amount of time and effort that went into building this. I mean, this is just such a large project. It's like building like, I don't know, at least two MCRN Leviathans, like back to back, all in one ship. Huh, that looks really cool too. Double hangar door. Wow. Look at this area here, like the big massive control tower. This is almost like Star Destroyer size, you know. It's this thing's just giant. Jeez. What I think is really cool too is this this front look here too. Let's try to get some mood lighting going on here. See what you look like in a little bit in the dark too. Wow. Wow. Just something you don't see every day. It's so detailed too, despite being really big. I have seen some really big creations that didn't have a lot of detail. I mean, not like this at least on them, because usually they're so big and take forever in a day to detail everything to that level. But this one's detailed everywhere, literally everywhere. So on those other projects there, when I said, oh, this might have taken a good solid month to build, this one could have been a half a year project at least. Jeez. Oh yeah, look how that lights up at night on these thrusters there. Wow. Yeah, this is crazy. So, okay, so this piece is part of the other ship over there. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, hey, if any of you are looking for a city-sized ship, a true definition of a capital ship, in my opinion, at least, this certainly looks like that's what this is. And it looks like it would have a lot of docking room on it too. I just wanted to see. So yeah, this one would take a long time to build. Obviously, it's gigantic. It does have some weapons and defense. Again, not necessarily a good ship for typical in-game play, but due to its size, and I'm not sure how it moves exactly. I don't think this was made for the modern game either. So if we take a look at CPU, yeah, it doesn't have any CPU core blocks, and it does have a lot of RCS in it that I noticed at 79, and that sucks up a lot of CPU. Could this be CPU compliant? I don't know exactly. I would have to, you know, if all the RCS were removed, maybe, but just the overall amount of blocks probably used to build this might put it over the limits even at that. So it's hard to say. So what a hangar though. Check out this really cool hangar setup. I like how this was done too. This is kind of a neat looking pattern of like if you had a bunch of launch ships that you're, you know, they're all kind of numbered out. You park them over there. Plus this giant space in the middle here. And all the intricacies on the floor too. This looks really neat. So it's glass panels over a walkway that's actually going underneath the hangar. Obviously a lot of people chilling down here. Yeah. Shoof. I was a little scared to look at these creations when I first did it, especially after I spawned in this one. It looked pretty big from the screenshots. Certainly looked pretty big. But then when you spawn it in person, it's even bigger. It's even bigger than it looked. So it's just insane. In a good way. In a good way. Alright, well, there's the hangar. I'm going to just jet up here, take a look at this area too. So this overlook over the hangar. And it is a massive hangar on this thing too. I can't imagine how many SVs or HVs or whatnot you could park in there. Probably even some CVs, smaller ones. An opening over the top over here. Jeez, massive corridors. Kind of like we're walking through Battlestar Galactica here. Wow, that is a heck of a corridor. Where do you go? Imagine the ship like this could make quite a POI too, but I think it might be a little bit taxing potentially because of the size of it on it. And this, so I'm out the front of the ship here. Yeah, so that was B1 pilot area right in the front here. Actually, when I move in here too, I've been holding down like the shift key a little bit. Oh, this one I think has the this thing going on too, where I bet you these were meant to be all open glass. Now I didn't know this for the longest time too. That's why, you know, when I see it now, I try to show that hey, you can do this, and hopefully that helps some people, especially if you're new to the game. There's nothing out there in the game that would indicate that randomly whipping out a multi-tool and telling it to do change or rotate would in fact change the tint of glass. It just is not said. It should be. It should be. But I've never seen anything in the game indicating that that tool would do that. But it does do that. This is pretty slick too. It's like smaller bays going into the side here that go down a ramp. Holy crap. And look at all this over here. Oh, geez. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, this is one of these creations that is so ginormous that I don't necessarily want to try to walk through all the internal corridors because, again, I could spend hours looking through this ship and probably still find new things. Really, really interesting. So what's in these pods here? So they're kind of interesting. We got some generators and things chilling out. I guess, you know, I don't exactly know what this is based on, so this might make a lot of sense if it was seen in the proper context, unlike me flying through walls. But oh yeah, look at this. These are like turrets that were made here using antenna for the turret range. I dig that. I dig that. It's it'd be really neat if you could actually. Can you imagine if you could actually build like a whole turret mechanism that you build its own swivel base and you build its own design and you put in like the right kind of cannons and everything, so you could actually build individual parts like this that you could apply to other ships, again made out of like voxel blocks. That'd be kind of a neat way to look at things. But those look really good though. I mean, they really do, especially you look at them from a little bit of a distance and they all look like that'd be just a ton of weaponry there. And they kind of they look cool the way they're done too. Wow. like this bridge and cockpit up here too. Oh, hold on. Gonna have to whip out the multi-tool here. Unless that was intentional. Maybe in some of these cases it was intentional. It's just I'm maybe a bit of OCD on my part that is like, hey, the one glass is tinted different than the other glass, and that's probably the way I look at it. Oh, I like the emblem over here too, on LCD lights. And then it looks like we've got another bridge over here. Oh yeah, very cool. Yeah, well, this kind of does show you the power of Empyrion too. I bet you when the devs were building Empyrion, they probably weren't thinking that people were going to do things like this with it. But you know what? You can. And ultimately, despite me crabbing about my frame rate a little bit, because of, well, look what's here, it's not entirely bad either. I mean, I bet you I'm hanging in around, what key is that? F8 maybe? Yeah, well, looks like, yeah, up, I don't know if it's shown on the video, but I'm seeing 24, 25 frames a second looking this way at this ship. Considering what's actually there, that's not horribly bad. If I look the other way, I'm getting a little bit higher, 28, 27, 30. If I just steer out into nothing, into terrain, I'm only getting 43. So I gotta say Empyrion has become more efficient, I believe, with its the way the voxels or all the individual blocks are being rendered onto the screen, because despite all that's here, it does impact frame rate, but not that much, considering when I'm only getting this staring at nothing. So, but I do think in Empyrion that there's a serious problem with the rendering of the terrain on the planet. I've seen a lot of terrain in a lot of games, and you typically run very smoothly, where like I'm hardly looking at anything here, and I'm only pulling 30 frames a second, and I don't know. If that could be optimized better, that would be kind of nice, or maybe a different way of doing it entirely. But it does seem to be very taxing on the game. It's why recently I've been up in space almost entirely when building new things. simply to get rid of that very taxing terrain in view, especially when you're working on a creation. I want to get as best frame rate up to at least 60 as I can. But anyway, those are those three, and please check them out. Give these authors some support. They really put in a lot of time and effort here to make some just really cool things. Now you might look at it like, oh well, none of these are really practical for my Reforged Eden gameplay, and this and that, and yeah, but you know, there's a lot of different aspects of Empyrion, and you know, personally, me, sometimes I enjoy trying to build something that's, you know, for gameplay, you know, things like most recently probably like the Janus and that kind of thing. And other times it's a whole lot of fun to just build something crazy, you know, like most of these. They're unique, they're very artistic. They put a lot of time and effort in these things, and or the authors that made them, and very passionate about it. You can tell it just sinks right through when you look at these things, and I admire that. I really do. I huge respect for all of that. It's an incredible amount of work, and they're giving them to the community. You just gotta, like, you know, look at them as for what they are, and don't try to like say, oh well, they're all don't work well in game, and you know, whatever, but they're not made for that, you know. Well, they could be used in game, but the idea is just to be super creative and super ambitious, and pull off something that you just don't see, you know, like this. You know, maybe there's some other creation on the workshop that I haven't discovered yet, like these. I don't know, but just had to look at them. And then also, you know, the totally unexpected one that I just seen like literally this morning. I'm like, oh, I got to show that too. That looks like a phenomenal looking creation again by Shiv. Anyway, that's all I've got for today on looking at the creations. Next week I'll try to mix it up a little different. I think I might try to look at a whole bunch of one type of creation, or a few. I mean, I don't want to look at too many in a video, but they're all pertaining to something that would be more useful in game. But this week I just really wanted to admire the some really big ones. And again, size class 111 over here. In comparison, hold on. One last thing I got to do, just for peace of mind, I want to quickly spawn in the MCRN Leviathan, which is my personal biggest creation. Probably help if I went to the M's. There we go. And we'll put it right next to this ship, and we'll just see. Yeah, I even want less frame rate. How much bigger this thing is than the Leviathan. And the Leviathan I thought it was pretty big. So yeah, look at that. Look at that. It really makes the Leviathan look like a support ship. So now I'm really trying to kill the frame rate. So this is about the worst frame rate I think I could pull off here, about 18. And this is getting to the point where, oh, 16. Ooh, I seen a 16. Anyway, that's a lot of stuff for this game engine to display, and I'm doing it on the planet's surface. I would expect and pretty much guaranteed to get better frame rate in space with all of this stuff. Anyway, you all have yourself a good day. Next week, I'll hopefully have some new stuff to show. I'm kind of trying to plan out a bit of a tutorial / actual work on the Persis CV3 project that I got going on, and I may try to, I'd like to get some time and maybe finish up that MX4 over the weekend. So maybe I can get something released here while the Persis is ongoing. So anyway, you all have yourself a good weekend, and I will talk to you later.